May has come, the trees are in bloom, the fields are clothed in green. Now nature awakens with glorious might, and life stirs unseen. The world is so fair, the heavens so blue, the breezes so gentle and mild. Now hearts rejoice in springtime anew, each bird sings in joy undefiled. The wanderer sets out, his heart filled with cheer, to roam through the valleys and hills. The songs of the forest ring out loud and clear, as nature its promise fulfills. So let us embrace this season of glee, where beauty abounds all around, and cherish the moments as fleeting as they. In springtime's gentle arms we are bound.
We relied heavily on the 88s to deal with the T-34s. I remember the fear in my comrades' eyes when one of these tanks appeared. They moved so quickly that it was hard to target them before they closed the distance. Only the high-velocity rounds of the Flak 88 could reliably pierce their armor. The T-34 combines superior firepower, excellent mobility, and incredible reliability. The Soviets designed it to be mass-produced and repaired in the field, qualities we underestimated.
General Heinz Guderian, 1941. Our tanks and anti-tank weapons proved ineffective against the Russian T-34. Its wide tracks allowed it to move where our vehicles bogged down, and its sloped armor rendered most of our weapons useless. It was a shocking revelation and a serious wake-up call for our forces.
Hey everyone, welcome back to part 3 of the T-34 76 build. Let's jump right in. Here, I'm gluing the back plate to the hull of the tank. This piece required a lot of cleaning up to fit properly. I put a dab of glue on the muzzle and pressed the barrel and muzzle together. What I like to do is run a bead of glue around all the seams to make sure the pieces are fitting snug. I hope you enjoyed the opening featurette. The poem is a 19th century German poem describing the environment of the changing seasons from winter to spring. Those testimonies we heard were from real German soldiers and their impressions of the T-34 tank. Like I've said before, I'm not a historian, but I believe it is important to use factual statements from actual people that were alive at the time. So as we construct the turret here, I think now is a good time as any to discuss some features of the T-34. When the tank was introduced, it was considered the better tank to its contemporaries. This was due to some of the following factors. The 60-degree sloped armour made hard work for those manning anti-tank weapons, as rounds would simply bounce off. When talking about tanks from this era, we need to reference a triad that engineers were attempting to strike a balance within. This triad being armour, manoeuvrability, and offensive weaponry. Where other nations failed, the Soviets struck a magnificent balance within these three categories, within the T-34 tank. Although the 76.2mm main gun was a low velocity, the sheer numbers of these tanks on the battlefield, coupled with their fast pace, meant they could close distance with the enemy tanks and overwhelm them. Some of the first German encounters with the T-34 describe not being able to land a single hit on the thing. The T-34 was not without its drawbacks. The tank was mass-produced and produced very quickly. This meant the quality of assembly was poor, it had uncaring molting components, and all this was combined with deficiencies in crew training and sometimes inept command of the tanks, which meant that the Soviets were losing tanks on the battlefield quickly and in big numbers. The argument of what tank was the best in World War II is still passionately discussed today. I believe you have to take into consideration the factors of the balance struck within the tank, triad, as discussed earlier, other factors like the cost of building the tank, the cost and time of training a crew to operate the tank, and the logistics and cost to repair the tank in the field. With all these in mind, perhaps the T-34 is the best, but let me know what you think in the comments. I'm not sure if you can pose the hatches on the tank as open, so I glued them both closed. Here, I'm using reference from real-life images to place the spare track links on top of the mudguards of the lower hull. I used this website, ricomonkey.com, which has a plethora of high-resolution photos of a T-34 tank and other military vehicles. The link for this is in the description. I had to be very careful with these pieces, which appear to be railing. They are super thin and very flexible. They're very easily prone to snapping and getting lost. Hey guys, I'm going to cut it there for this part of the video. Stay tuned for part 4 coming up next week. In that part I'll be doing some more fine detail on the turret of the tank. I'll also be exploring some of the tactics of the T-34 during World War II as well. Quick shout out to you guys, as my last video got over 500 views. It got double the amount of views in 1 week than my last one did in 3, so it's incredible. Stay tuned, stick with it, and we'll see what comes on in the next episode. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.